All right, welcome back to Embrace Life and Thrive with Sabrina for episode 5. Today I'm going to be talking about setting intentions for the year 2025. It is hard to believe that today is the last day of 2024 as I'm recording this on December 31st. This past year has been a good, busy year, a year that has brought a lot of trials, but has also brought a lot of joy, and God has brought me a long way on my journey. And I pray and hope as you look back on this past year that you will see God's hand guiding you all the way through. So as we're looking forward, we don't know what 2025 holds for us. We can't possibly know, but we do know that we have a God who is the same yesterday, today, and forever, and who sees the end from the beginning and knows exactly what we need at the right time. So I came up with 10 questions to help achieve goals. The first one is, what goal or goals do you want to achieve in 2025? I think it's important to identify specific goals that we wanted to achieve. That way we know what we're wanting to do. If we just say we want to change, we want to live a healthier life, what are the goals that we want to reach? Do we want to weigh a certain weight? Do we want to be able to work out for a certain amount of time? Do we want our meals to look a certain way at the end of this year? Whatever your goal may be, it's important to identify that goal or goals and write it down. So question number 2 is, have you attempted to achieve the goal or goals before? And if you have attempted, number 3 is, what were the outcomes? So you've had a goal to try to lose weight and you've made steps, you made action steps to make that happen. What was the outcome? How long were you set in motion to achieving these goals? And what was the outcome after the certain period that you had set? Number 4 is, what could you have done differently, or what do you want to do differently going forward as you reevaluate your goals? As we look back at our goals and we see ones that we didn't achieve, ones that failed, or we didn't get to where we wanted to be, what were the areas that seemed to be needing more support or more focus, or areas that maybe need to be less focused on? It's very important. Question number 5, what are the top 5 action steps that you can take to achieve the goals? So right off the top, you have identified your goal or goals. You have assessed if you've tried to reach this before, what was the outcome, what you could have done differently, what you want to do differently, and now you're going to identify the 5 top action steps. You can make more, but at least come up with 5. 5 that you can start implementing into your life to help you achieve your goals. So it's helpful to write this down and just do bullet points or number them, at least 5 action steps. Number 6 is, what is one action step that you can take today to achieve your goal? So it's great to be able to identify your goal and come up with the 5 or more action steps, but we need to be able to make it applicable to our life as soon as possible. So being able to implement one of those action steps gets us going. It keeps us motivated. So, for instance, if we're wanting to exercise more, that's our goal, to be able to exercise every day or 5 days a week. What is one action step you can start today? That would be maybe taking a 10-minute walk after your lunch. Question number 7, where do you want to be in 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, and 12 months from today? Where do you want to see yourself? You can pick the 1 month, 3, 6, 9, or 12 to measure where you want to be. But if you just want to be like, in 12 months, I want to be able to do XYZ, I want to feel XYZ, identify that. Write it down. Where do you want to be? Question number 8, what is your plan if you fall behind or lose motivation in achieving your goals? This is real. This is legit. We're gung ho. We're ready to achieve our goals. We're on fire. We're excited to have those outcomes that we're working towards. But life is real, right? Things happen. We lose motivation. We lose heart. We're not seeing the progress that we want to see, and so we're like, "Ugh, maybe I'm not doing the right thing. Maybe I should just give up." What is your plan when this happens? Because at some point it's bound to happen, even if it's for a short period of time. What is your plan? How are you going to get back on track? A great thing is to go back to the drawing board where or your notebook or your journal where you wrote down your goals and the action steps that you wanted to take to be able to reach the desired outcome. So when you feel not motivated, you go back and look at those and say, "Yeah, this is what I want to achieve, and these are the steps that I wrote down that I know I can take to make these changes so I can reach my desired outcome." Then you can just choose another action step. Change it up a little bit, or reevaluate those action steps and try new action steps. The way I like to do it is, depending on what your goal is, I said to question number 6 was to pick one action step today that you can implement. So as you're going forward to reach your goals, you don't want to just stay with that one action step. You want to add the other action steps and continuing to build on that until you're living that lifestyle with all your action steps and more that you come up with as you're on your journey and you evaluate and reevaluate things you need to incorporate or take out, subtract out of your life. A good rule of thumb is to add one every day, depending on what the action step is. When I first started, there was a lot of changes and it felt overwhelming. So don't feel bad if you feel overwhelmed. So what I did was picked, just a few action steps, things that I could change and start implementing. And I started that and I did that for a week. And once I felt comfortable with that, I got in a rhythm, then I added a few more. You don't have to make all the changes right off the top. That's just too overwhelming. So, like I said in question number 6, pick one that you can do today and then go forward from there. So, going to question number 9, what support systems do you have in place to help you achieve your goals? You are more than capable of achieving your goals by yourself. But I have found that it's helpful to have support systems in your life that help you, that support you, that encourage you. For me personally, my number one was my husband. He was a very good support system. He encouraged me and supported me all along the way. And then my other one was my nutritionist. She was and has been, I'm still working with her, has been very helpful to me to know that I'm on the right track. And when things weren't, seeming to go like I wanted them to, we went back to the drawing table and reevaluated the situation and came up with new action steps to start implementing to be able to get results. Another is friends and extended family. It's important that you have a support system in place to help you along your journey, because it can get discouraging, especially when you're trying so hard and things are just not falling into place as you want them to or as quickly as you wanted them to. So it's helpful to have accountability partner or partners, people that you share, that you're on this journey, share your goals, maybe share what you're trying to implement into your life. If you're trying to exercise more, get somebody that you can exercise with. Get a gym membership, go to a Zumba class. Just have support systems in your life to help you achieving your goals. Even if their goal is not the same, just having somebody there that you can say, "Hey, I need a little bit extra motivation today." Last but not least, question number 10. How do you want to celebrate achieving your goal or goals in 12 months? This is helpful because, you're doing the hard work and you're looking for the desired outcomes. You're reevaluating if your action steps are appropriate to achieving your goal. At the end of 12 months, you are going to achieve all or part of your goal. That's also why when I was on my health journey, when I first started, I, had goals, what I wanted to achieve in a year's time. And I didn't know if I would be able to achieve that, but I knew that I would try my best to achieve those goals. So at the end of 12 months, I had achieved a good many of my goals. I was losing weight, I was feeling better. I had lost over 40 pounds, which was my goal. Was sleeping better through the night, motivated, energized. I just had a couple goals that I hadn't met yet, but I was celebrating the progress I had made in a year, which was a lot of progress. So at the end of twelve months, decide today what you're going to do to celebrate. And that can change, as you get closer to the 12-month part. But it is helpful to know, okay, at the end of 12 months, I am going to achieve this goal and I'm going to be experiencing these outcomes. And this is what I'm going to do to celebrate my achievement, that I worked on myself. I invested in my health and wellness. I invested in my spiritual walk with God. I invested in my emotional health, mental health, whatever your goals. It doesn't have to always be, for like losing weight, exercising more. It could be, you want to draw closer to God. You want to have devotion every day, every morning for so long at that period of time. You want to be able to journal more. You want to travel more. That could be a goal too. That's exciting. And that would entail financial health. What are you going to need to do? How many hours do you need to work? When can you take vacation? Do you not take vacation now so you can take vacation at the end of 12 months because you're able to save extra money to put aside for that great Europe trip that you've been wanting to do? The goals are endless. I mean, life is beautiful and God has given us everything we need to live healthy, happy lives. So question 1 through 10 that I went through is very helpful to setting your intentions for 2025 and achieving your goals and having a plan set. So, benefits of identifying your goals and action steps. This is very important because it helps you have a baseline to measure your progress. It also helps to keep you motivated to see where you've come from and where you are now. So it also helps when you're setting goals to maybe write down what your status is right now. If it's financial health you're wanting, where are your finances looking now? What's in your savings account? What's your credit score? What's in your credit card that you still need to pay off? And if it's health, how are you feeling? What are the signs and symptoms that you're feeling in your body that you're wanting to change? And the spiritual health, what's your walk with God look like? What's your prayer life look like? Do you go to church? What does that all look like? And then for emotional, that's similar. Like what's your attitude throughout the day? What are your emotions like? Do you have a lot of up and down emotion reaction? Looking at that against your goal can help you measure your baseline in the 12 months to see how far you've really come. Another benefit is it helps provide feedback on which action steps need adjustment. So this is for everybody. Like one thing may work for you, may not work for somebody else. What works for somebody else may not work for you. We are all bio individuals. We thrive on different things. There's fundamental things for everybody, but what works for you may not work for somebody else. And what you're doing now, what worked before may not work now. We're changing over time. Every day our body's changing and our environment, just everything. So identifying our goals or action steps helps to see what needs adjustment. Maybe this action step is not working. Maybe this, you've incorporated more protein in your diet, but you're still not losing weight. So maybe looking and saying, well, what does my carb intake look like? What does my healthy fat looks like? What does my processed food intake look like? My water intake? And then you've increased your protein, but maybe lower your carbs just a little bit. Maybe increase your healthy fats. Make sure you're getting healthy fats into your diet, not the seed oils. And then cut out processed foods, unless you're making your bread from home. Make things from scratch is much better. Another benefit is it helps you target root causes. So like I just mentioned, you're eating a higher protein diet, but then you're not losing weight. So maybe we need to evaluate if there's metabolic dysfunction, if there's some insulin resistance going on. That could be by symptoms, just looking at your body, or blood work. And I like both to look at, root causes. So that's very helpful. For financial health, that just came to my mind is root causes, of not being able to save enough money. Well, look at your subscriptions. Are you still using them all? Could you cut out Netflix or Hulu out of your monthly cost? And this goes for any of your goals. Emotional, what is your work environment? How stressful is it? Maybe do we need to change jobs? Do we need to set boundaries? How's our home life, our relationship with our family, our friends? You know, there could be, deeper root causes for the things that we're experiencing. So, benefit of identifying goals and action plans help us to evaluate if our action steps are helping achieve our goals. And if not, we need to reevaluate what's the root cause here. Maybe there's something else going on. It also provides a clear roadmap to how you achieved your goals. So they're measurable. This is my goal, and this is how I achieve them. And it can be an inspiration to somebody else. Because if you're going through something, most likely somebody else is going through it too. And so you can share that and say, hey, this is what worked for me. Maybe it'll work for you, and they can try it, reevaluate if they need to change it up. It helps you identify other areas of your life that you might want to work on. So you're working on your health and wellness, and then, you realize that, you need to work a little bit on your relationship with God, or your emotional health needs a little focus, your mental health, or your finances, because when you're on a health journey, whatever it may be, a lot of times if you've been on it for a while and you're searching for answers, there's a lot of cost involved in that. So you could see that, maybe you need to put a little bit more attention on your financial health as well, for example. And then last but not least, another benefit is it shows that you are capable of healing. It shows that you're capable of achieving your goals. So achieving your goals in 2025 starts today. It starts identifying what those goals are, finding those action steps, and start implementing them. And then when you start to lose your motivation, you have a plan already set. You already know what you're going to do. That way you don't have to stress about it, because we don't need stress. And then you know who your support systems are, who you're going to go to when you need extra attention and extra support. And then you know what you're going to do when you achieve those goals, how you're going to celebrate. You're going to go on that Europe trip. You're going to run that 5K. You're going to my example was book a massage in sauna, because I'm a massage therapist. I'm always encouraging people to get massages. I love getting massages. So I have put together identifying a goal, some action steps, an outcome example that I want to share with you. So easy. The goal is exercise more. That's a very broad goal. Exercise more. What does that mean? So action steps are: number 1, make an exercise schedule. Number 2, walk 10 to 15 minutes after meals. 3, sign up for an exercise routine app or class, in-person class or online class. Number 4, do 10 squats when I get up to use the bathroom at work or at home, wherever I'm at. 5, take the stairs instead of the elevator. And 6, park further away from the store's entrance. This will get more steps in. So these are specific, identifiable action steps that I can take to exercise more. The outcomes that I will want to be looking for is I incorporated exercise into my routine 5 days a week. Another one is I lost weight and feel comfortable in my body. 3, I have improved mobility and flexibility. I have increased motivation and energy. I have improved sleep and lowered stress. And I feel better and I have a better outlook on life. And then, because I've achieved these goals, I've had the desired outcomes, I'm going to celebrate by booking a massage and sauna. So, talking about achieving our goals in 2025, we don't know what tomorrow holds. We don't know what 2025 holds, just like we didn't know what 2024 held. So, I just want to encourage you to know that God has a place for you. The inner storms, we're going to meet storms throughout this next year. But we have a Father who's watching over us and who's going to help us every step of the way. If you want to read the story about how Jesus stilled the storm, you can read that in Mark 4:35 through 41 when Jesus and the disciples got in the boat to go to the other side after they'd been with the multitude, and a storm came over, and the waves beat into the ship, and it filled it with water. And the disciples are looking for Jesus, and they see him, and he's in the back part of the ship, asleep on a pillow. Like, how could he be sleeping during this storm, right? And they wake him and say, Master, carest thou not that we perish? And he arose and rebuked the wind and said unto the sea, Peace, be still. And the wind ceased, and there was a great calm. And he said, Why are ye so fearful? How is it that ye have no faith? And they were amazed at what manner of man is this that the winds and the waves and the ocean obey him. We're going to have storms, and we're going to feel that God is not hearing us, that he's not seeing us. And we're going to say, don't you care that I'm going through this hard time, through this storm? He can still the storm. Another story where Jesus stilled the storm was in Matthew 14:22 through 33. This is when the multitude was there, and right before this, Jesus did the miracle of feeding the 5,000 with the loaves and fishes. Incredible miracle, right? So Jesus sends the disciples into the boat to go to the other side while he sends the multitudes away and then goes and prays. Well, as the disciples out there, right, a storm develops and they're tossed to and fro. And then they see this person walking on water and they're afraid because they cannot recognize him. So, they say, it's a spirit. And Jesus says, be of good cheer. It is I. Be not afraid. So Peter answered him and said, Lord, if it be thou, bid me come unto thee on the water. And he said, come. So Peter stepped out of the ship onto the water and walked on the water and began walking towards Jesus. And as long as he looked at Jesus, he was able to walk on the water. But then he noticed the wind, he noticed the storm, the waves around him, and he started to sink. But he cried out to Jesus and said, Lord, save me. And Jesus didn't dilly-dally around. He immediately stretched out his arm and caught him. And then he said, O thou of little faith, wherefore didst thou doubt? And when they came into the ship, the wind ceased. And then they that were in the ship came and worshipped him, saying, Of truth thou art the Son of God. So this is another example of experiencing storms and Jesus quieting them. So as we start this new year, 2025, there's so much unknown ahead of us. We cannot know what this year holds, much like we didn't know what previous years held. But with that in mind, it is important that we set our intentions for 2025 and know who will guide us through every storm and sunny day. Isaiah 43, 1 through 5, and then verse 7. You can read that. But regardless of what 2025 holds, we can rest in knowing that God has great plans for us, as we see in Jeremiah 29, 11 through 14. So it doesn't matter what storms we are chosen to pass through, what fires we are called to walk through, God will be with us because we are called by His name. We are His. And then Matthew 6:25 through 34 talks about how we do not need to take thought for tomorrow. This new year ahead of us, we don't know what it holds, and it's easy to stress about it. But we do not need to worry about it, about what lies ahead, because we are more than of value than the lilies, more value than anything else that God created. Because he will provide our every need just at the right time. We can rest in knowing that He holds tomorrow while He holds us today. He is ready and willing to say, "Peace, be still," to the storms in our life, even if that just means calming the storm within our minds and hearts while we are still called to endure difficult circumstances. Like Peter, Jesus bids us to walk on the water by faith in Him. Let's keep our eyes on Him and not the storm or storms that are around us. Because if we do, we will forget and we will not reach out to Him. We will fall and we will sink. But we do know that if we fall under the weight of difficulty, we can reach out our hand and cry for help, and He will immediately reach back to save us. We just have to believe and look for evidence of His rescuing grace, because sometimes we cry out to God and we ask for answers, we ask for deliverance, and it seems like He is silent. But He's answering behind the scenes, even if we can't see it. We have to believe it, that He's doing that. So 2025 is the year to live in His peace, be still, knowing that He is the same yesterday, today, and forever. He knows our every need, and He longs to give us good gifts. So let this year be the year where we draw closer to Him in every circumstance, and let Him use our story to inspire others. I would like to share in closing a poem that I wrote back in 2014, May 13, 2014. And I just realized, looking at this date, May 13 of last year was when I lost our baby. It was Mother's Day weekend, which May 12th was when I had ultrasound, and they let me know that, yes, I was in fact having a miscarriage, and it really happened the 13th to 14th. So last year, May 14th was Mother's Day, and that was extra hard for me because I was a mother, but had empty arms. So that's just a real moment right there where God touched my life to remind me that everything is going to be okay. So perfect peace. My peace I give to you, but not as the world can give. It's everlasting and true. It's yours all because I live. Do not be weary of your life, of how I led you in the past. I know it's been hard. There's been strife, but I'll give my peace. Just ask. Sometimes I give a yes. Other times it's a gentle no. This time it's wait and rest. Your desires I really do know. I've led you each and every mile. I will never leave you nor forsake. I've been there when you couldn't smile, assuring you that I will not make a mistake. Perfect peace is yours from me. You can have it in your loneliest times. And when you feel as sad as can be, remember, I love you, you're mine. Therefore, my most precious one, take heart and clasp my hand, and with patience the race run. Trust and know I have the perfect plan. So to recap, the takeaways for this episode is that first and foremost, we do not know what 2025 holds, but we can achieve our goals this year. Setting action steps, identifying those goals, and outlining what outcomes we want to see at the end of the year is really important to achieving our goals. And knowing that even though we don't know what this year holds and we're going to do our best, we're going to come through some storms. But we know that God is going to be with us each step of the way, that He has a perfect plan for our lives, and that He's there and He's holding us, that He loves us, that we're His, and He's going to see us through. He can quiet those storms. He is going to say, "Peace, be still." We just have to reach out to Him. All right, I'd say that wraps it up for today. As always, this podcast is for informational and educational purposes only and should not be used as a substitute for professional medical advice. Thanks for joining me. If you enjoyed this episode, please hit the thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and share with a friend. Please comment below your thoughts on this episode. I would love to hear from you. In the description below, you can find links to follow me on Instagram, how we can work together, and other platforms where you can listen to the episodes. Thanks again for listening, and until next time, embrace life and thrive where God has you planted right now.